I picked the right page to stop on.
What?
Cautiously advancing, we gave vent to a simultaneous ejaculation of wonderment. You think I'm joking?
I'm not.
Cautiously advancing, we gave vent to a simultaneous ejaculation of wonderment. For of all the unnatural monsters either of us had in our lifetimes beheld,
Yeah.
there's a shadow.
I can't read past the shadow. It makes everything go dark.
H.P. Lovecraft, ejaculate your words all over me.
Yeah, the case of Charles Dexter Ward. Wait a minute.
Go!
Oh. Well, since he got a nice vacation, we'll be able to do a Friday show.
Yeah. We won't talk about that.
We'll be able to do a Friday show, and you should be well rested.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll pick up.
Well, yeah, actually, as bad as it is or was.
Whoa.
Thankfully, it's all resolved. I probably needed a few extra days.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because just recovering from the schedules.
Right.
Balls to the wall every fucking week. 70 hours, hands down, weekly. You know, it's
Still, are you? I thought
Not anymore. Not anymore.
I thought the
But
whole
no,
point of getting
the
this job
training.
was to work less hours, be closer to home,
Well, it's about the same amount of hours, 10 to 12 a day, like I was at R&L. But now I'm closer to home.
just less travel.
Yes.
I got you.
Well, that's just trucking, dude. And this job is just awesome.
Maybe it's just because of the training and everything. You're like, oh man, I gotta leave at 3 in the morning, and I get back
12,
at
15.
3 2 days later.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I'm like, wasn't he supposed to like save time with this job?
Training, bro. Had to get the training done. But it was worth it. But yeah, maybe a couple extra days to kind of reset my clock will help.
Yeah, I suppose. That's why I can't wait. I'm not taking any vacation until the end of July, but even so, the summer schedule starts next week, so I'll have 3-day weekends, which would be nice.
Nice.
But to the task at hand, did you happen to see Kamala Harris's 2028?
What's that, the retarded version of 30-30? 30 for 30?
No, the campaign art for 2028.
Are you serious?
Have you seen it?
No, she's going to run.
Oh, yeah. She
No.
actually, surprisingly, sadly, the Democratic Party is one of the front runners, if not the front runner right now. Tomorrow.
It'll be Joe again.
No, Joe's done. So,
He's not dead.
here's the ad. I don't know how you missed this. Like somebody in that campaign somebody had to have noticed this.
I can't believe it. They
With
fucked up.
whoever drew it.
Well, they used the devil symbol, the pentacle. The pentacle, look. The upside down 5-point star. They're worshiping the devil. That's funny.
No, it's not. That's right side up.
That's a pentagram.
That should be down.
That's a pentacle. The pentagram is the right side up 5-point star. Boom, 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 boom. If you tip it slightly,
Yeah.
now it's the pentacle. Upside down 5-point star.
But it's not upside down. It's just normal.
Yeah, and they're all jerking each other off.
It's so fucking weird. How do you miss that? Like, it's
It's a circle jerk.
It's so...
Kamala Harris for the people.
And you notice how Kamala is right in the middle of all of it.
Her,
Oh, oh, oh.
the people like me. They're going to vote for that.
Cover me, people. Cover me with
Eat
your
more asparagus.
cover me with your essence.
No, more pineapple.
So yeah, that's her 2028 campaign art.
I really hope that's a fluke. Please tell me that's a deep fake.
No, man.
That's not a cheap fake.
No. That's the thing. Is like it came out and we're like, oh come on, someone had to,
Oh no, there's definitely come on. There's something coming on.
or just about. According to that picture, who do you think's gonna go first?
The black guy.
My money's on green. Wait. No, probably. What's the blue guy represent?
White people.
Sad. Sadness.
So you got black people, Native Americans, or Middle Easterns. Take your pick.
Yeah, wait a minute. They're if that's the case, they use all these colors for these different ethnic groups, which is deemed insensitive. Now, how come she gets to use it?
Because they're sexually pleasing each other.
That didn't answer my question at all.
It's okay. It's not racist if it's for sexual pleasure.
Oh. What a strange world we live in.
Does that answer your question?
Maybe. So, yeah. Kamala Harris, 2028.
Kamala Harris. Come on, a lot.
Yeah. So there was a lot. I had there's so much I had for the No Kings protest, where the fuck it was a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And I actually gotten a couple online debates over the whole thing. I'm like, here we go. And it always degrades into like an emotional mudslinging, name calling and stuff. And like at the end of it, I was a racist and everything. You know, that whole thing. Enablist.
What was the discussion?
It was actually a local one on the one that happened here, the protest. And what was it? Maybe I can actually find it. It was someone posted a picture of it, and it was the one guy that was dressed in like a clown outfit, but he had like orange suit on, like supposed to be Trump. Like he had like the Trump mask or the clown thing and a jumpsuit. Well, then they were talking about, oh, this is racist against Mexicans and blah blah blah, and all I did was put laws, because I mean they exist.
It wasn't racist against Mexicans. It was a strike against criminal migrants.
Yeah, and that's where the whole thing started. There we go. Yeah, I'll just read through some of it. Oh yeah, so this guy who he'll rename.
Let me see it.
Name. I have no idea who it is. Someone from the valley somewhere. Mm-hmm. So I just put laws, and he said none broken. 34 felonies with a question mark. I'm like, okay. So I go, being in the United States without lawful immigration status, commonly referred to as being undocumented, is a civil violation, not a criminal offense in most cases. And then I gave a breakdown of why. So undocumented means undocumented immigrant is someone who is present in the United States without legal authorization. And that can happen by entering the U.S. without inspection, illegally crossing the border, which is like the prime candidate here. Overstaying a visa after entering legally. Is it illegal to be undocumented in the U.S.? Yes, it's unlawful, but the specifics vary based on how a person becomes undocumented. Entering without inspection, an EWI, is a federal misdemeanor in subsection the United States Code subsection 1325A. Improper entry by alien, penalty of 6 months in jail for the first offense, rarely enforced for being just in the country. Overstaying a visa is a civil violation after a criminal offense. And I just went on and on and on with like undocumented immigrants, U.S. codes, subsection 1227A, 1, A and B. An alien who is present in the United States in violation of the chapter and any other law is deportable. So it was long-winded, but I went through like the legal
pretty
code.
Thorough breakdown.
Yeah,
if you ask me.
a legal code of everything there. I'm like, so there's no dispute, like it's right there. And then I go, and the felonies were a weird one, as his charges were deemed in furtherance of another crime, but was never specified. We covered that before.
Oh yeah.
And they basically made it a multiple choice. Just choose something, then we'll say, yeah, you're guilty. I was like, that doesn't make sense. But
You didn't have to pick what you found him guilty for. You just had to think he was guilty of something.
you're right. So then the retort was he was convicted of rape in court, convicted on 34 felonies in court, convicted on fraud university in court, convicted on fraud foundation in court, impeached twice and a proven traitor in the Mueller report. Deplorable enough yet, 5,000 lawsuits for non-payment of goods and services, 24 sexual lawsuits, career criminal, racist bigot, traitor, trash, Republican. So I go, whew, this is a lot to unpack. I go, so the rape allegations is actually not a conviction according to New York's criminal law. He was, however, ordered to pay $5 million for a sexual abuse conclusion. He actually has no fraud convictions in either university or foundation, air quotes. The Mueller report actually did not find any connection to Trump or his campaign in 2016, although Hillary had some questionable handlings, air quotes, calls during the same year, emails.
Oh, yeah.
And I go, and I said, there was another, he said something on some other thing, and there was another back and forth there. I go, I'm merely presenting an argument with, he goes, oh, you have the AG bar redacted version of the Mueller report. He was very, very clear. Is convicted of rape, $25 million settlement at fraud university, convicted, blah, blah. No longer eligible to run a charity or foundation, convicted. You people are too fucked up beyond reason. Trump is a deplorable who follows it, and whoever follows that is a piece of shit as well. So I said, okay, fine. So I went to ChatGPT, and I just typed in, I go, was Donald Trump convicted of fraud university? ChatGPT said, no, Donald Trump was not convicted of fraud over Trump University. Instead, he reached a civil settlement to resolve multiple lawsuits alleging deceptive practices. What happened? Trump University operated 2005 to 2010 and was accused of misleading students with ads promising real estate secrets and handpicked instructors, then upselling costly seminars. Over Stormy Daniels, I believe. Key distinction: no criminal charges or conviction. Trump faced civil litigation, not a criminal court, and the settlement resolved allegations without a finding of criminal liability. There was no verdict against him in court, and he did not face jail time, fines beyond settlement, or any formal admission of guilt. So then, after I typed in, was Donald Trump guilty in the Mueller report? Said ChatGPT says the Mueller report did not find Donald Trump guilty of a crime, but it also did not exonerate him, especially regarding obstruction of justice. Well, is the Mueller report officially blah blah blah? Okay. Report investigation into Trump interference or the Russian interference in 2016 presidential election. Yeah, and then it breaks us down. And then after that I said, I'm merely presenting an argument within a debate, and you've retorted to vague arguments and personal attacks. Not really a strong look. He goes, your arguments are weak. Trump is garbage. Have a good day.
Oh, God.
So I was like, all right, well, that's over.
Can you say...
But...
dumb fuck?
But in the middle, like, that happened in, like, the middle of me just, like, looking up some of the stuff on, like, the LA riots and everything. But basically what was... at the time, a couple weeks ago, because that's how fast we move now, portrayed as the Summer of Love Mark II, 2025. Except instead of BLM, it's this anti-ICE movement. Which, one weird thing about the whole thing is you saw, and I guess you still see, videos of migrants who are storming over our borders, or they were anyway, because they, according to Democrats and bleeding hearts, they want to escape.
They're seeking asylum.
They want to escape persecution, whatever the reason is what they're escaping from, because that country they're coming from is oh so bad, and the United States is so much better. So they come over here, they have riots, waving the flags from the countries they're escaping from, and then burning the United States flag, which they are trying to enter into to get a better life. Make that make sense. you see that, I'm like, that, what? So what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that makes no fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. And what another thing is it's this whole thing is like NGO funded, like
NGO funded.
non-government organization,
Okay.
like Black Lives Matter was. So you can't fucking pinpoint exactly where this funding is coming from. Same thing as Black Lives Matter, except when they broke that down. You remember when they tracked where the owners,
Yeah.
or the people that evidently ran Black Lives Matter, and it came up to like an empty lot and somewhere in some rich place in LA.
Yeah,
or
the girl, the woman who her brother, she hired her brother for security for like $1 million.
Yeah, yeah. You can't, like, there's laws against that. Like, if I struck it rich for whatever it was, and I had a business, or that business made shit tons of money, and I was like, hey, Charlie, I'll employ you. You can come work for me, be a fucking janitor, but like, your salary will be $300,000 a year. Can't do that. That's fucking highly illegal. It has to be competitive wages. There's laws of it. So that is just like, boy, don't put your red flag's pretty fucking big. Yeah. So, that's right. There's a whole NGO thing. I got a clip on the whole NGO thing.
For those of you counting on the promise of
I'm not.
So it's actually being funded by a billionaire by the name of Neville Singham. He's actually funding a group called the Party for Socialism and Liberation, which, if you look online, they are a communist organization. What they're doing is they are using Hispanic Americans the way that BLM used Black Americans during these riots, and frankly, the way that Code Pink, which is also funded by the CCP, is using Palestinians. So what they're trying to do is they're using this to usher in Marxism. But it's important to note that actually when you find and you follow the money trail, Mr. Singham is actually largely funded by the Communist Chinese Party. So House Oversight has issued and will be sending a letter this Friday with all members of Oversight calling Mr. Singham to testify before Congress. If he does not appear and does not provide documents, he will then be held in contempt of Congress, and he will be prosecuted by the Department of Justice. We are not playing. This is a different administration. We have the Department of Justice, and if you interfere with American politics and are a foreign agent, you will be held accountable.
And with this whole thing, what's interesting that's come out too is now evidently, I think Kash Patel had put it out. He found evidence, and they've released it to the FBI, of possible interference pro-Biden from China in 2020. Now, if there's any connection or whatever between Biden, because here's the thing that I believe. If Russia, in fact, they did interfere in 2016, but they interfered in 2016, and they find that China interfered in 2020. Both of them were adversaries of the United States, and one evidently was for Trump, the other one evidently was for Biden. All that tells me is, like, there's something beyond all this, where it's not so much like China's for Biden and Democrats and Russia's for Trump and Republicans. Maybe this is just subversion, break down the system from within.
Yeah.
They're like, look, they're working with the adversary. They're working with the enemy. We can't trust anybody. So we want to bring in something else to tear down this capitalist thing, the system of government they have, and bring in something else. Look at that. That seems to work over there. Russia's working together. China's working well together. Socialist communism. What happens to pop up all the time, especially with like extreme left? We need socialist everything. We need a basic universal income. That's like a big argument now within millennials and sort of younger. Some boomers too. We need socialism. It's like, I don't know. I kind of like to be in complete control of my own destiny.
My own financial destiny.
Yeah, like if I'm not making it, it's on me, not anybody else. And the flip side, if I am making it, nobody can take that away from me. I mean, they do anyway. They tax the shit out of you, but that's besides the point. No. But then during all that too, the Mexican president was sitting there going, "Oh, the protesters are not criminals." Yeah. So she was like just pushing this whole thing. And it's like she's doing that. She's watching from Mexico, watching on TV, the LA riots.
Yeah.
Again, go off. They're popping off. And she's like, oh, well, they're not criminals. They're just doing their thing expressing. Like, to me, that was like...
Sometimes
you know when you go...
Well, it's car burn.
You know... yeah. Did I send you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, they're just being peaceful. Some people just like to watch a car burn. Like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Have you ever fought a car fire? No. It sucks.
It's like a parent at a playground, and their kid is the one that's being obnoxious, running around, pushing kids over and shit like that. And all the other parents are like, "Are you gonna do something about your daughter, son, whatever the fuck?" That's just the way he is. That's just he's just he's rough love. Like, no, what the fuck?
Hit your fucking kid.
Yeah. Throw him in the dryer or something.
With a pillow, 10 minutes, tumble dry. Take a nap for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Jewel for about a day, but it'll be alright.
And then Mayor Karen Bass. I think this is where what you just referenced here. I think I saved all these, so just in case they fucking take the shit down, because they happen to do that every now and again. No, we're not going to New York right now. That's something else. Oh yeah, see, they're still protesting, so that's good.
Large group of people, it could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers. And
This fucking news reporter should be held responsible to pay the bill for whoever's car burnt.
Look, they're just having fun watching cars burn. What's the fucking big deal? But January 6th.
Heaven forbid a Republican watch a car burn. It's vandalism.
It wasn't even a car burn. Some barricades got knocked over? Are you fucking kidding me? They knocked some barricades over. They had one shooting, and that was a police officer to the one broad that stuck her head through the front gate there when they were pushing it over. Oh, yeah. And then during all these peaceful protests, or once again, mostly peaceful protests, as that started to be thrown around again. Just like in BLM, in 2020, pallets of bricks mysteriously showed up.
Appeared.
Just suddenly showed up. I'm like, oh, there's construction again in LA. Like, okay, pallets and bricks in Philly, Chicago, construction, fine. Especially Pennsylvania. Anyone who's done any bit of traveling knows about Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay? Passable. LA, that shit's just been burning down for fucking decades now. There is no rebuilding there. The only rebuilding that's going there is tents and Skid Row. That's it.
18 and life and 18 and life to go. Wait. That is Skid Row, yeah. Round and round. That's Rat.
Yeah, I don't like Rat. But
I'm pretty sure you can find a rat or two on Skid Row.
so, not only...
When you go round
yeah,
and round,
a rat or two.
then you end up doing a crime and you get 18 life and counting.
So, from the New York Post, lefty nonprofits are openly fueling LA riots by handing the fuck ice protective gear, right? In LA, left-wing nonprofit groups are openly helping to fuel anti-ice riots here by handing out fuck ice packs with protective equipment as protesters continue to take over downtown every night and engage in rolling battles with cops, federal agents, and National Guard troops. Chilling footage reveals one identified group handing out truckload of face shields and other riot gear to protesters in downtown LA. The fuck ice packages, air quotes, which include goggles, face masks, gloves, and a phone number for jail support, are being assembled and distributed by a nonprofit organization called Operation Healthy Hearts. What's so fucking stupid?
Hold on, dude. You gotta hear this because I should have sent it to you, I think.
Okay.
But now you are going to stop laughing. The Tiki-Q women's assault team and I are deploying down to Los Angeles.
I saw that.
Getcha. Take that.
I don't know about this one exactly, but...
And the rest of the TWAT team have been training in new age tactics that will bring peace, unlike the U.S. Marines have been able to do. I'd like to offer you a free hug. What are your preferred pronouns? The LA Police Department couldn't handle the protest and called in the Marines. Now the Marines need help, and they called the twat team. So like and subscribe to our channel and stick around for
I've
part
seen some
two
of
when
those.
we
Not
come
that
back
one, but I've seen
after
some of
saving
them
the
where they
country.
go through training.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate you also. We are glad you support the police. We love Latinx people.
Oh, here at Gen Z PD, we have disbanded the SWAT team. We don't support the patriarchy. That is why we have started the Tactical Women's Assault Team.
Here comes the
team
twat.
consists only of the best Gen Z women the department has to offer. We have had 0 uses of force. However, our on-duty vehicle collisions have increased massively, and violent crime is through the roof.
Hey,
Our
they're
SWAT team
trying,
consists of me,
and that's the
Officer Lizzie,
important
the
thing.
liability
is
card
They're
SWAT
trying.
team.
They're trying. Jeez Louise. It's just one of several organizations that started as grassroots community aid agencies, but have been wading into politics and throwing their weight behind left-wing street protests. At least one group received federal funding before the Trump administration turned off the spigot. The federal government cut off our funding for other reasons, so we really have nothing left to lose, LA Poverty Department COO Pamela Miller told the Post. LA Poverty Department. That's probably like one of those let's feed the homeless or let's
March of Dimes.
Yeah, the thing where they take here's $100. Thanks for the $99.50. Here's 50 cents. Now divvy that up between all everyone else, and then finally the person that gets the penny at the end can put it in the jar just so they can say, "Look, the government fucked me that much, and I don't even have a house."
Yeah, the March of Dimes. I think it's like half of a penny actually goes to the organization.
Yeah, they get minuscule. They get a fraction of what is actually it, and it's nonprofit. And like this, what the CEO? We've talked about it before. The CEO gets like $2 or $3 million a year. Like, what the fuck? It's nonprofit. I'm like, so. Yeah. I was like, listen, if we solve all the problems, then we have no more money coming in to solve the problems.
Pretty much.
Don't you see the logic? Oh yeah. Duh. And here were the arguments like, if we had communism, we wouldn't have homeless people. Everyone would have the same amount. Of course.
Until someone sells their house because they want crack or cocaine or have a gambling addiction.
But you wouldn't have your non-profit organization either.
What happens to those people in communism?
We don't talk about that. They're the good guys. That group, an arts nonprofit that operates the Skid Row History Museum and Archive, allowed another organization to use its building to distribute PPE packages for protesters on Monday. Among the items available at the museum were anarchist pamphlets that advocate and I've said this before on one of our shows. This shit is so blatant right in front of you. It's because everyone on the right or centrist or anything just allows the shit to happen. Because they get in all their fucking like kicking and screaming and everything. We're on protest. And everyone else just looks at them and be like, no, this is just what they do. It's like, no, it's like a kid that keeps acting up. You got to put your foot down. You got to be like, no, we're not doing this. You do this, you're getting fucked. Like, we're not pulling this shit. Just like they did but in January 6th, when it's the other way around, no, they put fucking people in solitary confinement for 3.5 fucking years. Are you kidding me?
So, it just got me thinking about it. Fascism.
Right.
Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement characterized by
Dictatorial? I got you.
Dictatorial power. Dictator, whatever, I'm done with this.
Dictatorial?
Dictatorial.
Yeah, dictatorial. Dictatorial.
Okay. Dictatorial. Power, forcible suppression. I don't like the forcible part after they were saying the word dictatorial.
You'll be fine. You won't remember a thing.
Suppression of opposition and strong regimentation of society and the economy.
That's definitely not the left.
Yeah, it's definitely not the left. It's a far right ideology.
That's why it's not the left.
Exactly.
Now
the definition says it's far right.
Everything else seems to line up just perfect, but that first part that goes far right, and be like, well, then it can't be it. There must be something different. Oh, peaceful protest. That's what they do. Mostly. There's
And
just some people
have
that
fun
like
watching cars
watching cars burn. Man, I really got to get that shit straight because I look at it and just my far right brain sees like horribleness, but it's really not. Any news media outlet will tell you, oh no, it's just they're all right. Just mostly people. Let them do their thing. They're fighting for a good cause. Break those fucking laws, you assholes. It's good.
I don't get it.
First they say it doesn't happen. Then they say it's happening, but not so much. And then after that, they say, no, it's happening, but it's a good thing.
Or not as bad. It's not as happening as much or not as bad as they make it out.
Yeah.
And then you get to enjoy watching people watch cars burn.
Yeah. And then, like I said, the last thing is, oh, yeah, it's happening, but it's a good thing. Miller, however, the pamphlet also includes instructions on how to thwart police anti-riot tactics. Miller, however, dismissed the violence that has occurred in L.A. every night as a few knuckleheads doing stupid shit.
Oh, God.
Quote, the immigrant community is important, and they are valuable. ICE say, we want to get rid of criminals. Then then where are they going? To churches, to schools, Miller said. They're targeting people who can't protect themselves. You see, make them seem like the lesser, the other, and the weak and vulnerable.
Here's the question.
They were able to...
The person who can't protect themselves, that was in the church, when it got raided, where's their documentation saying they were here legally?
And to go along with that, they had, the one, like, highly publicized case of what'd they say? He was the Maryland father, or whatever it was. Was it Maryland or Connecticut or Vermont or whatever it was? Connecticut father. Well, there was this Connecticut father who was taken illegally, blah, 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 and shipped back to wherever the fuck. And then turns out, no, actually he was illegal. He wasn't supposed to be here. But the way the way they built it up in the news cycle was, no, he was nothing about immigration. It was just, no, he's a father. He was a member of the United States. And
okay, where's your documentation? Where is it?
that's why I said in that back and forth discussion is like laws. Like, to me, maybe I'm fucking whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'm a bigot or whatever the hell whoever's going to say. But I see all this, and the one defense I have for the whole thing is like laws. I had the whole breakdown right there. It's like
here's the problem.
The United States laws.
Here's what needs to fucking happen.
That's it.
Here's what needs to happen. These fucking people, like the one you argued with, the fucking moron. All these people that sit there and say,
I did ask him. I said, this is kind of a hot topic. I'd love to have a debate in person with you. And Rick actually texted me. He's like, you definitely got to get this fucking guy in the show. I'm like, dude, I'd love to.
So, these people that are sitting there saying, they're not here illegally. Okay. I challenge them to be okay with me walking into their home, taking what I want and doing what I want without calling the cops.
Yeah, that's
because
just
by
that.
logic, I am seeking asylum from a bad situation and going to a place that I feel secure and doing what I feel I need to do.
And that's like the perfect analogy I've heard before too. It's like if you're at your home and someone just walks in, are you gonna go? Yeah, go to my fridge and do whatever. And,
no, I'm gonna fucking point a gun at you and tell you what the fuck are you doing? Get out of my house.
Not even that extreme or anything, but he'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Well, no, they have a gun. When they get found, they'll have a gun on them.
Charlie, that's a super soaker. I didn't know.
It was black.
What if there was hot sauce in it?
Charlie, it looked like you spray painted the super soaker black after he would kill him.
There's an outline on his shirt. Oh, man, it must have bled. I mean, I didn't know.
That was already there. Charlie, what are you doing? Sprinkling a little crack on him.
Seems to be crack on him. Sorry to... But yeah, so if someone comes in, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, go ahead, do whatever you're going to do. It's like, no, you need to get the fuck out.
100%.
And that's a very, basic analogy, but it's an effective one because it's the same thing. Like, your effort, your money, your food and everything goes to the people within your house. I'm protecting them. I'm taking care of them. I'm providing for them. Then some rando comes in the house and be like, well, you got to protect me too. I'm like, fucking why? No.
Protect yourself.
See ya.
Yep. Protect your fucking self.
We can barely protect ourselves. Like, but, so, and then, that's another thing too. There was arguments, some, not a lot, but there were some arguments where people were like, this isn't a riot because it's only on like one or, I think, 2 streets in LA.
Yeah.
The thing with that is, when people, I think when normies, when they see a riot and you see like in 92, April 92, in the LA riots, the original LA riots, when you saw all the shit burning down and everything, everyone, you watch that and you're like, oh my God, LA, the entire fucking city is on fire. It's like, well, LA itself is fucking massive. Like, not just downtown, but the entire thing. So you see that and you say, oh man, the whole LA. It's like, well, no, not really. It's only on a few streets. That's the way this things work. Like, in the Civil War, for instance, a lot of people talk about the Battle of Bull Run. All right.
Okay.
That was the first battle of the Civil War that happened was the attack on Fort Sumter, which was a really small like skirmish. But that's considered like the first battle of the Civil War and what kicked it off. The first real battle was the Battle of Bull Run after that. During that battle, up on the hill, there were people picnicking and watching the battle pop off. And that was before it really popped off and it was like, fucking thousands died in it. But that's how it started. In Egypt in 2011 or 2012, whatever the hell it was, when there was a revolution there was people 2 streets over at McDonald's watching soccer games and shit on TV. Because when these revolutions happen and everything, it's not like, oh my God, there's this whole fucking 13 square miles and everything's going crazy. It's not like on GTA 3 or Vice City when you enter in like the pedestrian riot mode and the whole fucking map has gone crazy. That's not how it works. Like, it's usually, it is. It's usually only 1 or 2 streets. But that's how this thing is. So when you say, oh, it's not a riot, it's only 1 or 2 streets. Like, well, yeah, that's how it fucking works. But that's how it always is. Like, if it's any more than that, then that's when you... If all riots were that big, the way they seem to either want it to be perceived or they think it is, whatever it may be, you would have martial law in every fucking, like, riot all the time. And our nation would be like, what? Give me some crazy fucking, like, country that's always broken down in civil war and everything else. It'd be like Uganda or some shit like that. Or South Africa. Where it's just fucking crazy.
I did. Okay, good. I sent that one. I sent you a TikTok.
Did you?
Yeah, I was trying to find another one, but it's not. Yeah, it's funny. There was another one I wanted to show you, but because it's about it's about a certain protester during the riots.
Right.
She gets hit by a car, and she's on there bitching about the police.
Okay, continue.
So long story short, she's like, it was in Catskill, New York.
Okay.
She gets a citation for being in the road because she got hit by a car and ended up being in the hospital.
All right.
And she's bitching about how the police aren't doing any good. They're not here to serve, protect, blah, 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 blah. Well, you were in the middle of the road. You knowingly and willingly put yourself in harm's way.
So, ice is bad? So, what was happening, this is basically becoming like a rundown. What was happening is all these protests, mostly peaceful, started popping up in all different cities and everything around the nation. Well, one of them, in the left's infinite wisdom, kind of derailed something that was going on. So, NPR News. Details emerge on a Lake Street raid as feds charge protester with assaulting FBI agent. Okay, so federal prosecutors on Tuesday released more details about a drug trafficking investigation that led to the search of a Minneapolis restaurant last week. The large law enforcement presence on Lake Street, which included ICE agents, drew protesters who believed that this was an immigration raid. One of those protesters is charged with assaulting an FBI agent.
Please let him get raped in jail.
The search warrants remain sealed, but the Minnesota U.S. Attorney's Office says in a criminal complaint against the protester that the investigation began with a much earlier search of a storage unit in Burnsville, where investigators found more than 900 pounds of crystal meth worth $22 million to $25 million hidden inside spools of metal. Prosecutors aren't releasing details that could compromise the case, but in late May, a judge authorized federal agents to search 8 locations related to an investigation of drug and human trafficking and money laundering over several years involving a group with, quote, ties to one of the more transnational criminal organizations. The locations searched on June 3rd included businesses and homes in Burnsville, Bloomington, Ivor Grove Heights, Lakeville, and Northfield, Minneapolis. At a home in Northfield, agents seized gold-plated pistols along with documents and electronic devices. At a Burnsville business, the investigators took multiple El Pacino portraits from the movie Scarface, homage items, and prosecutors say are popular with people involved in real-life organized crime. That's true. Investigators deemed several of the search locations high risk. They started the search at 6 a.m. at the residence. Agents typically raid home early in the morning when the residents are more likely to be there. Later, they moved to the business and arrived. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Because ICE agents were there, many in the largely Latino and immigrant community thought it was immigration raid, and dozens of people showed up to protest. The law enforcement tactics appeared similar to the recent ICE raids elsewhere in the country, in part because they involved armored vehicles and some of the agents wore face masks. In the court documents, federal prosecutors say the law enforcement at the scene tried to explain to the crowd that the search was not related to immigration and that agents had to leave the scene before completing the search because of the hostile crowd. While federal agents did not arrest anyone in the drug trafficking investigation, several protesters were taken into custody. So, again, in their infinite wisdom,
they're trying. There's a drug and human trafficking raid going on, but you're right. Let's go fucking stop these ICE motherfuckers because they're gonna take somebody who's seeking asylum.
Yeah,
sell drugs and humans.
Burning our flag.
Yep. Way to go, left.
Yeah. And then I've already broke it down. See, I had a breakdown of like all the laws and everything, but I broke them down pretty much in that conversation going back and forth.
Jesus Christ.
Of course, Newsom, in his infinite wisdom, he blamed Trump and ICE. Marines are not required, only National Guard, So Newsom in his address, he's like, only the National Guard is required here, not the Marines. Trump brought in the Marines, and that was like rose a big stink within the political community. But the thing is Trump was very much in his rights to bring in the Marines. He didn't bring them in to assist like the police and National Guard on the street. He can bring them in and be like, I need you to protect these federal buildings. And he is 100% in his right to do that.
Yes.
So that's what he did. And then Newsom's like, bullshit!
Pause.
The whole thing, yeah. So another thing is, again, with this whole thing, everyone's arguing, like Newsom's arguing. It's like, oh, the Marines, the National Guard, the police, whatever. And you hear the respective argument from the opposing side, but like if you just step half a step back and look at it, be like, instead of arguing like who should regain control of all this, shouldn't we be kind of looking at the fact that these cities and their leaders have allowed shit to escalate to this point where you have to have multiple agencies come in to regain control of this?
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be the focal point? But whatever. But let's
let's not worry about what the problem is. Let's worry about why we don't like the way they're trying to solve it.
yeah, don't do it. I don't like his uniform color. Have those guys come in.
SWAT team, assemble!
Yeah, have them come in. They could probably solve it. They'll crash. They'll jump in the back of their van, then fucking drive 10 feet and just go off a cliff.
Vehicle accidents are up.
So the left's argument is posse comitatus, right?
Explain. Posse what?
Posse comitatus.
Posse comitatus.
I
Sounds
knew
like an
that would be
ICP
up.
song.
So here was
Dun dun posse.
So-
Dun, dun, come on. Dun dun Titus. Everybody wants some.
the posse. It's a good song, but the Posse Comitatus Act in the United States federal law that generally prohibits the use of military, including the National Guard, to enforce civil law within the United States. This is what we were talking about. This law was enacted to prevent the military from being used against its own citizens and to maintain the separation of military and civilian authority. Key aspects. The Act generally prohibits the use of the military for law enforcement activities, including domestic law enforcement, unless specifically authorized by the Constitution or an act of Congress. Exceptions. While the Act generally restricts military involvement in the law enforcement, there are exceptions such as cases where the President invokes the Insurrection Act, which wasn't done, or the Stafford Act to respond to natural disasters or public health crisis.
So, volcano,
Yeah, like
12
hurricanes.
monkeys, or
Yeah.
Rambo. Copy.
Yes. The Insurrection Act was floated around, but which at one point I'm like, why not? I mean, he didn't in 2020, and I think that was kind of a strike against him. He's like, man, a lot of people are like, why don't you invoke the Insurrection Act? But I think he was worried it was going to look like bad for him before the 2020 election.
Yeah.
It was like, dude, shit's burning down fucking everywhere. Get him in there. I'd be like, no, fucking done. Go to your room. But he's really, really careful about the way he's perceived when it comes to that. He doesn't want the authoritarian look. Which I guess can be good, but also bad. But as a retort to that, there's Title 10 authority, which in the U.S. Code outlines the legal framework for the U.S. Armed Forces. It defines the roles, missions, and organization of the military services and the Department of Defense. It also includes provisions for Title 10 orders, which are used for active duty service members, including those in the National Guard. The National Guard, it also defines the roles of the National Guard and the circumstances under which it can be called into federal service, including situations like an invasion or rebellion. A judge cannot dictate command over the military, that was one thing that was being said, because there was a judge in California at the same time that Trump was like, I want the National Guard to go and I want the Marines to go in and maintain control. And there was a judge that said, no, you can't, in my state, you cannot do what the president's saying. But the president is the commander-in-chief who commands all armies. His say. So it's, do you go against the judge or do you go against your chief? So
You go against the judge.
So, yeah, only the president can dictate the command over the military. Judge ruled the National Guard is to be... Oh, yeah, the judge is... That was the issue. The judge ruled that the National Guard control be returned to Governor Newsom, whereas the president said, no, you are in my control. I'm commanding this right now. And that was where the argument was. So, and really, it's like, well, it's the National Guard, so Newsom can say, but president's commander-in-chief. So that kind of leaves the National Guard in a pickle. It's like, fuck, who do I listen to?
Yeah. Yeah, but at the end of the day...
And
I'm sorry, a governor, a judge, should not be able to order away the military.
no, I really, yeah. That's because there again, governor or the judge, that's civil law. And we were just talking about this. The military and civil law aren't supposed to mix. So you have like a civil judge being like, hey, military, don't do said thing, or you should report to this guy. No, the governor is for the civil aspect of that state. President is for the military. So this whole thing, though, that was transpiring, I think it had. Well, it's not. I think it did. It has an adverse effect on everything that wants to be portrayed by the left in the media in regards to immigrants. Right? We need to save them, but all this is going on, and that just makes everyone else be like, "No, get rid of them," because there's shit going on. There's like fucking the cases of criminal migrants like burning people and shit, and like the
raping
park,
girls, killing girls,
all that
robbing
shit.
people.
And it's like, that's not a good look. And then you have all the protests going on. It's like, oh, we're going to peaceful protest. And then they're burning cars and shit. It's like, that's no. And then burning the American flag and flying the Mexican flag and everything. It's like, what? Aren't you trying to escape from there? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, sorry rape was illegal in Mexico. Come to America where they'll protect your right to rape.
Yeah, so I brought it up before.
Fucking stupid.
In regards to, we go back to like Russia and China and everything.
Russian collusion.
Right. So
Chinese collusion. Sounds like a drink.
the FBI delivers intel to Congress on alleged Chinese plot to interfere with 2020 election. Kash Patel forked over a trove of documents to Congress detailing an alleged Chinese campaign to meddle with the 2020 election that involves thousands of bogus U.S. driver's licenses. Precise details about the alleged effort are murky, but a confidential source alleged the Chinese plan to use those licenses for thousands of mail-in votes to benefit former Vice President Joe Biden. A spokesperson for the FBI, Honcho, explained to the Post. Authorities had caught wind of the alleged plot around August 2020, but intelligence reports on it were recalled for reasons that aren't fully clear. Kind of like the laptop and all, but you know.
Yeah.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection seized almost 20,000 fake licenses around that time. Biden won the swing states in Arizona and Georgia by more than 10,000 or 12,000 votes, respectively. And President Donald Trump's margin of defeat in Wisconsin was more than 20,000 votes. Patel declassified the intelligence report and sent it over to the Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. So maybe this is one of those things, like maybe when that was happening and Trump was like, I want to recount, maybe there's reason behind it.
Oh, yeah.
And now we find 5 years later, it's like, oh, shit. Now, is it like something? We don't know yet. Because it just was handed in, but yeah, we don't know yet.
Jesus.
So that was a breakdown of the protest. But then, while the protest was happening,
Boom goes the dynamite.
before all that, suddenly, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, before we even got involved, suddenly there was a bunch of shit popping off over in the Middle East again. Between Israel and Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, Iran.
Iran. Just like Qatar.
So then I'm like,
I'm sorry,
me.
Qatar.
Qatar. Qatar. Yeah, I don't know. Ivan. Yeah, that one, like, I'm like, fuck me. So, but because all this happened, suddenly the protest thing is, whoop, I was completely gone.
Doesn't push narrative.
It's still happening, but nobody gives a shit about it anymore. Because now we, like, but this Iran, Israel, U.S. thing has now, like, every day it just changes and changes. Like, before last Sunday, I remember, like, Trump was like, oh, we'll give you 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then, you know, you had 60 days, or whatever it was, 90 days. I think it was 60 days.
Yeah.
Figure your shit out. We'll come to an agreement. You shut down your nuclear program, and we'll go from there. So that time goes. There was no more going to the table. Time limit was up. And then Trump was like, listen, you have 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, gotcha! And then Sunday, fucking out of nowhere, bombed it. Like, what the fuck? I remember Sunday, it was like 5 o'clock. It was Sunday night. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock. I was sitting in here. And all of a sudden, I refreshed my YouTube. And just, whoom, I'm like, what the fuck happened? I was like, God damn, it's a good thing I didn't write any notes for this yet, because I would have had to, delete.
Delete it.
Yeah.
Delete.
That's like, what is it now, 8 years old at this point? But
Still funny.
But yeah, so that happens. They drop bunker busters on the three places where they had enriched uranium to make nuclear devices in Iran, and after that, the what was it, the prince or whatever the shit, he said, listen, you do that, then we're gonna fucking shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Omar, which supplies like 80 fucking some percent of liquefied natural gas and crude oil to Asia. Now, when this happened, like the initial strike, and even before that, the left, their infinite wisdom, were like, you're going to do that, and then China's and Russia are going to join in, and they're going to fight, the United States. And initially, I'm like, boy, yeah, that might happen. Now, Russia's not going to do anything against the United States. The only thing Russia has is their nuclear capabilities. They have like 1,000 more nuclear warheads than the United States. Like the United States has like 4,000 something, and they have like 5,600 something like that.
God damn.
So that's really all they have. You saw during the Ukraine war what Russia, that big nation, this huge powerhouse, and that little fucking New Jersey-sized country, they couldn't fucking make a dent on them. What the fuck do you think they're going to do against the superpower, which is the United States? Not much. They have warheads. That's what they have. And they have a prick leader. But hey, so do we. So
They're basically throwing rocks at a hornet's nest.
yeah.
Fuck that.
Then there's China, who has a real tough time feeding their own people. So they have a military, but financially, I don't think they're as well off as they like to portray.
Or people perceive, because when you actually look outside, if you've got tunnel vision and outside looking in, China does seem like they got a good grip on shit.
Right. Well, the government has a good grip on China. I'll put it that way. So, that's Russia and China. But then what happens, which is interesting, which kind of deflated that whole argument, is this happens. They threaten to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and that supplies Asia, specifically China being a big one, with their fuel. Well, if they were going to get help from China, why would they shut down that strait, which fuels China? Isn't that kind of counterproductive? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
So no, I mean it is.
I literally started thinking as you said that, like, that's pretty counterproductive.
Yeah. So it's like, help me, bam, help me. I don't know if I
okay,
should.
bam, ow, help me. Okay.
Should I not reach for your hand? I don't know what the lesson is.
What if I reach for your hand and move forward really quick?
Yeah. So that happens, and then so they threaten to do that. And then, after that, yesterday, Trump all of a sudden works out a ceasefire between Iran and what Pakistan wanted to, it was a week or two ago, Pakistan wanted to, they nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize because he worked out the fucking deal with
Israel
Pakistan and India. They were at each other's throats, and like 2 weeks later, they're not. Now, they worked out a ceasefire between Iran and Israel, and then everyone's like, wow, man, maybe you should give a Nobel Peace Prize. But then, at the 11th hour, Iran launches like a missile, which is reported, which just kind of like fizzled out as Iranian, weapons. It's like, it didn't hit anybody.
Walmart special fireworks.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't hit anybody. It just fizzled out and like fell in like fucking someone's yard or something. And like, but then as a retort, which pissed Trump off, Israel fired like fucking 12 or 13 of their most powerful missiles back at Iran. Like right, because before that, when they worked out the ceasefire, Trump said you have 12 hours to finish your shit and like solve it and stop firing. So that's why I said in the 11th hour, all of a sudden they're like, Like, what the fuck? And Trump was like, what the fuck are you doing? He dropped an F-bomb in an interview.
Oh, yeah.
That, you saw that.
Israel and Iran have been fighting for so long.
It's like, I don't know what
the fuck are you fighting about?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, but, like, rightfully so. I'm like, what the fuck are you two doing? Are you fucking stupid? Like, what? It's like, hey, stop fighting. Okay. It's like you and your, like, brother and shit like that when you're little. You both get scolded. Like, all right, now you two knock it off. All right. Like, that's what it is. Like, what the fuck are you two doing? Like, stop.
Swear to God, I'm hang both your fucking asses on a doorknob.
But then there was argument. I've seen arguments online. Like, sometimes Facebook can be funny. 'Cause you see how many fucking idiots are on there. But there was arguments, and I probably know some of them, but there's arguments on there. It's like, Trump started this whole thing. It's like, listen, there's something called a fucking history book.
Oh, yeah.
Something, maybe you open it up once or twice. This shit goes way the fuck before Trump was considered anything near office. Way fucking before. Probably when Trump was shitting his diapers.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say
Hold on. Let's find out right now.
Israel was formed in what, 1946 or something like that?
How long has the
Iran conflict.
Iran conflict been going on? Generating. Got it.
3 weeks. What?
The conflict between Iran and Israel has a long and complex history that has evolved over time. Key points. 1979 turning point. The relationship between Iran and Israel dramatically changed following the Iranian Revolution of 1979, which replaced the pro-Western monarchy with
regime change, yeah.
Yep, with an anti-Western Islamic republic led by Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, whatever. Within days of the revolution, Tehran severed diplomatic ties with Israel, which is considered an enemy of Islam and Little Satan. So 1979. This conflict, when was Trump born? Hold on.
Trump was born in what, 46? I think that was 46. Well, Israel was formed.
June 14th, 1946.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, because his birthday was on the same day as the United States military's birthday.
Yeah.
So then the left's like, look, he's having a parade for his birthday. Like, once again, I'm like, whatever. It becomes pointless after a while.
There's really nothing this guy can do for anything.
No.
When he went over to visit the troops during Christmas, oh, look, it's Christmas, and he's not here to address the nation. He's overseeing the troops.
Yeah, that's right.
No, he's got to be here. Okay, well, he's staying here next year. This fucking dictator won't go visit the troops that are fighting for him.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're 100% right. I mean, that seems to be the calling card here.
No matter what Trump does, whether it's for the left or against the left, they'll find a way.
They're always pushed down and everything else. Then there's, yeah. So that's what that was half of what I have written here, or what I have written here is half of what I just said, rather, because like it's been so fresh, like it's all in my head. I don't have to write it down. Like, what the fuck's going on? But it happens so quick. It's like this is like reading a story. Like, I can just fucking tell you the whole. It's not like news from before. It's like this is panning out over 3 months. This is panning out over the last
2 days,
hour and a half. Like, as we're filming this, probably more shit has popped off, and I just But to make a hard turn, we'll come back to America, specifically New York. Fuck yeah!
Fuck New York, dude. As much as we live in this state.
Yeah, but, oh, jeez, more king shit. But, more importantly to that.
Pandemic, when all the mom and pop businesses.
Office, you signed Executive Order 1. Is that correct?
See, Hulk will get cooked during this whole thing.
And you extended this executive order not once, not twice, but 3 times. Most recently, January 16th this year. Is that correct?
If that's what your facts show, I signed countless executive orders.
I would assume you'd know it's Executive Order 1. And this is a continuation of your predecessor sanctuary state policies, correct? is included in that?
I want to be sure we are defining sanctuary state
I'll
properly.
define it for you. It is the policy of the state that state officers or employees shall not disclose information to federal immigration authorities for the purpose of federal civil immigration enforcement. It goes on to say, law enforcement officers may not use resources, equipment, or personnel for the purpose of detecting and apprehending any individual suspected or wanted for violating a civil immigration office. Law enforcement officers have no authority in the state of New York to take any policy action solely because the person is an undocumented alien. That's a quote in your executive orders that you extended. Now, do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to get back to the first part.
No, I'm asking a question. Do you know who Sakir Akan is?
I want to make sure you understand that this simply says that we will cooperate with ICE.
No, it does not say that. I read what it says, and let me talk to you about the results. Do you know who Sakir Akan is? You should, as the governor of New York State. Do you know?
Refresh my recollection.
He was an illegal migrant in New York. And do you know what crime he committed in addition to being here illegally?
No, I do not.
You do not. This was widely reported. He found a 15-year-old girl, threatened her with a metal pole, told her to get into the back seat of his car, he took her clothes off, and he violently raped her in Albany, New York. Do you know who Sebastian Zapita Khalil is?
I'm sure you'll tell me there's many cases, whether they're...
These are high-profile cases. Yes. New Yorkers know about them, and you don't. So let's talk about Sebastian Zapita Khalil. Do you know who that is?
I don't have the specific details at my disposal, no.
Well, this is an illegal migrant in New York because of your sanctuary state policies. Do you know what crime he committed?
I'm not familiar at this moment.
I bet you're going to be familiar when I remind you. He found a sleeping woman on the subway, lit her on fire, and burned her alive. This is in Kathy Hochul's New York. And as I'm sure you are aware, and I'll remind you, that ICE issued an order to detain this violent criminal, but that was rejected by New York officials due to sanctuary state laws. Now, you signed executive order.
Jesus. Well, that's our fearless leader.
Yeah, I remember the subway. And then on top of that, it's just getting... There's one... I don't know. I think maybe I sent it to you. Maybe you sent it to me. I can't remember. She's going to use $50 million of New York's funds that's funded by the taxpayers to pay for lawyer fees.
Yes,
for
I
criminal
did
migrants.
see that. I don't know who sent it to who, but I did, regardless, I did see that multiple times. Yeah, I did fucking
So
see
now
that.
our taxes are going up almost 45%.
It's fucking disgusting.
And we know where the $50 million is going.
Well, yeah,
Why the fuck are we trying in this state?
I don't know. It's, yeah.
Swear to God, if Kathy Hochul practiced the old ways, I would definitely trial by stone her.
If we, yeah, she just hits home run after home run.
It's not even a home run after home run. She's basically fucking walking to the audience. Here's a baseball. Whack! Hits him with a bat. Got him! Home run and he caught it.
Well, that's what I mean. It's my balls, and she's got a bag. Bam! It's out of here! Not a pleasant home run. I've hit so many, I'm going to the All-Stars. But she's just fucking, I fucking hate this twat waffle. I really do. I cannot stand, there's not many, like even Joe Biden, I was like, man, this guy's a fucking idiot. And then after a while, I was like, no, he's just old. And now it's like, no, he's just all falling apart. So I felt more bad for him toward the end of his commit. But this broad, I legitimately cannot fucking stand her. I can't. And that's not even hyperbolic. That's the sad part. Like, not even hyperbolic. Like, I'd rather have fucking Cuomo come back. It's like, hey, Andrew, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry, but
you got Me Too'd. A lot of people have. Most of them are fucking idiots. Whatever. Do you want to come back in? Like,
that's all it takes. That's all it took with the Me Too movement.
Yeah. And it started up, that's another one, like BLM and like every other fucking organization. It starts off from a good place and good-hearted, and then someone goes, money. And then in that case, it just came into a power play. I can fucking drop this person that's high profile. Me too. And then they flutter away. Bye. Gone. It's happened to fucking sports athletes and everything else.
Oh my God.
Like,
and all it took was one disgruntled fucking ex, be it a male or a female, who was upset they didn't get to finish the job or get the date they were promised or promised the life. Because no guy or girl in the history of the world has ever run the game like, yo, I got a mansion, I got money, put your penis in me. Or I'm going to put my penis in you.
All right.
And then, hey, sorry about all that. I was just trying to impress you. I'm really broke and homeless.
Me too.
Oh, hashtag me too.
Yeah. Then lastly, for tonight anyway, Disney. Take a hard right. So
This one's so hard right, I have no clue. I'm not even on the same fucking map anymore.
you'll come right back. So, you know how, like, we'll put it this way. Disney casting in the last 10 years or so for their movies, okay?
Okay.
You get where I'm at here?
Yep.
Yeah, like
Now I'm arriving at the station.
Little Mermaid.
Yep.
And Mulan. They got rid of the dragon. You know, all this shit they were doing.
Lilo and Stitch, because apparently the fucking sister gives up the daughter.
Lilo and Stitch. Like, so we'll say, like, just Disney in general. Their casting, their writing, whatever it is.
Okay.
Okay, so, you know, like the meme that goes around, like, hey, there's the one, there's a fucking picture of, like, there's a picture of, like, the Redhead Festival or something in Ireland, and they said, Disney's casting for it, and it's all black women. Okay? So that meme, that kind of meme, there's a whole bunch of different variations of it. So, Black Panther.
Oh, I heard something about this. They're going to cast a white guy, people are fucking flipping out.
I saw it, and I'm like, wow. There's two possibilities to this. Two, like, primary possibilities out of this. One, Disney is... everyone says it all the time. I say it a lot. I say Disney's fucking out of touch. Either Disney is so fucking out of touch that they see no problem with this. And like, yeah, let's put a white person in Black Panther. I'm like, wait a minute. So you have Black Panther, and they want Ryan Gosling, I guess, to play it. But so they got Black Panther, a white man running an African country, being like the leader of them, or. And this one, I'm like, I hope this is the case, because partially Disney would be redeemed in my head. Disney are the biggest fucking troll artists I have ever seen in my entire life. They build up this whole thing over the last however many years of all these crazy casts. Like, wait, that doesn't make sense. 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 And then they pull a 180 and go, now the black character, Black Panther, we'll cast a white guy.
Here's the thing. He can be.
I know. He has been white in the comics before, but a lot of people don't know that.
I was just thinking, I remember T'Challa's son, Katima, who was white and became the Black Panther.
Yeah. So they can, like, I know that. They can do it. But because most people don't know that, they're going to look at that and be like, what the fuck, Disney? At least the same people were all applauding, like, a Black Little Mermaid. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
And what? Yeah. And why are we changing, like, a lot of these movies? They were like, don't change classic movies. You want new characters? You want, like, new ethnic groups? Fucking make a new movie. Have you done it before? Moana. Moana was fucking fantastic.
Oh, Moana, yeah.
Yeah, Moana was awesome, and it was the Islanders. It was awesome. It was a good fucking movie. And the sequel wasn't even bad. Like, new character. New ethnic group. Great. Black Little Mermaid. Doesn't fucking make sense to me. Like, Snow White. What she did, like, Hispanic or something like that? Like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh, I don't want to... That was the ones like, oh, I don't want dwarves for Peter Dinklage or Dinklage, whatever.
Dinklage, yeah.
You can dunk him. Hey, but we don't want dwarves in there because they're typecasting us. And then like a bunch of fucking dwarves are like, the fuck you doing?
Oh yeah, the
Hornswoggle. He's one that's like, fuck you, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, there was the little person community.
They were pissed.
They all,
and
like,
rightfully so.
Holy shit! Like, they don't get too many acting roles.
No.
What, an end stand? Painted gold, look like a statue.
You're gonna get your ass kicked by Dinklage.
I'm gonna dunk my dinking whatever.
Yeah. Okay. He tried.
I want to dangle my Dinklage into his Duncan mouth. I don't fucking know.
He doesn't know. He's trying. He's but, yeah. So, and then, yeah, like I said, maybe Disney is just the biggest troll artist, and then it'll be like, all right, now pivot, and they throw this, and we're like, and
no, they played the long game.
Yeah, I got a 10-year joke. It was like, I got a joke. What is it? It's like, we're gonna typecast, like, you know, like the big thing that's starting to rise up since 2012 and Obama. It's like all this like ethnic blah blah blah. So let's start like casting like these different roles. It's really gonna throw fucking people off, especially people that grew up with these movies. Then, right at the last second, we'll pivot and then cast a white person. And then we're like, well, fuck, how long is this gonna take? 13 years. Like, the fuck? All right, let's do it.
We're so committed to the joke. What was that chick's name that they hired? That fucked up Star Wars? Kathy.
Oh, Kathleen Kennedy has always been within Star Wars universe, like right from the get-go with George Lucas. George left and Kathleen Kennedy started to run the show. Clearly, you could tell there was a different fucking pilot.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
Because the plane went from this to...
Yes, flying. Ow, sorry.
I'm really good at flying.
Into this. Yeah. I tried to parallel park. We're so committed to this joke. Kathleen, you ready for your part? Oh, fuck yeah.
Just so some billionaire could be like, that was funny.
Gotcha, bitch.
But Disney just fucking lost like 40% of their net like value. It's like,
it was a good joke.
Yeah, but it was good, wasn't it? It's like,
you guys almost believed us there for a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, so
what power?
Like I said, either they're so out of touch, or they just
the greatest troll artist of the generation.
That's why I said I hope it's the latter. I'm like, boy, you pissed me off, but that was a good one. It was a good one. You got me good. And they go, I'm just kidding. We'll bring back all the original fucking Marvel shit, and then it becomes good again. Like, yay, Star Wars is everything's happy again. That's in my fantasy world.
Now, the Anakin, I guess, was really the chosen one. He did bring balance.
Maybe they would just
20-something years later.
Maybe they would erase like the whole Force witches or whatever the fuck was in that one. It's like,
oh god,
the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, or whatever the fuck they do. Like, what the fuck is this? What is this? This is bullshit. Like,
I never even watched it. I know what you're talking about. I never even watched it.
I saw clips, and that's all I need to see. And I just watched when they said no, the Force didn't just miraculously impregnate Anakin's mother. It was the fucking Force witches. And I'm like, I'm done. It's like, yep, that's it.
George Lucas, oh, so close to finishing too.
George fucking can't stand the whole thing. All of it. He can't stand it. I'm like, oh, thank God. At least I know he's not part of this. Because he had an idea for the sequel trilogy. He's like, yeah, well, he wanted to be a continuation of like Luke and like training new Jedi and that. And he goes, Disney didn't want anything to do with like my ideas. I'm like, oh man, that could have been good. If they had George Lucas steering the ship with Disney finances, holy shit.
Disney the boat, George Lucas the captain, fuck yeah.
Yeah, they would have had a direction. Instead of just like, look at the boat we're in. Let's just fucking turn the wheel and see what happens.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
That's what happened. Oh, you didn't even. They're at port and they just fucking put it in drive, like, and they just go right ashore and be like, oh, didn't even get off the ground. Where's the plane wings?
Got it to move.
Fuck me.
We're good.
And that's right after George sold him the boat. He's not even out of the parking lot yet. And he looks over like, ugh. Well, they fucked it up already. Oh, jeez. That's sad. New York's sad.
Disney's sad.
Disney. Maybe. I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No kings.
Yeah. No kings protests. And war in Israel. Iran. Bomb Iran.
I ran the bombs away.
Oh, we got two songs going on here. Bomb Iran.
Like a child, I run the night away.
Oh.
Couldn't Get away.
Bye.
That music video was awesome.
You got all of it.